attended our recent Family Day event. She'd been to several others of our community events, and the first thing that she did was she thanked me for serving espresso. Well, that warmed my heart, of course, but I got thinking about our community events and some of the other things that we do, and as I look over 2014, I'm grateful for a number of things. I'm grateful for all of you who volunteered time, talents, or possessions to make our community outreach and our church happen. We're very grateful for that. We're grateful for the new life that's happened in our church, for new people who are coming to the church, for new babies, of course. We're grateful for all of the young adults that are present in our church. When so many people are lamenting the loss of young adults in the church, we're grateful to God for that. We have a couple questions for you. As we think about 2015 and moving ahead, one of the questions is, we've done the neighborhood party for a number of years. A few years ago, we asked you if we should continue, and your resounding answer at the annual meeting was, yes, continue, but we're asking again. Should we change it up, morph it a bit, update it, do something else with it? And whether we do or whether we don't, the second question is there anything that we could do to engage our community between October and the Easter egg hunt in March or April? So we're inviting your discernment on that. We're grateful to all of you for making the church happen. Thanks for your time, your talents, and volunteering of your possessions, of course, as well, to make the church happen.
Hi, we want to provide you a quick report from the trustees. It's been a big year of growth and change within the church. Outside the church, we've been able to start with the Chandler Mowat Lunch Club, which has been exciting to see develop. And as well on the inside, we've had the addition of Craig Stevens as our youth pastor and Rachel Brnjas as our children's ministry coordinator. And so we're excited to have them on board. On the administrative side, we've been working away at updating bylaws and policies as we prepare for incorporation, as well as just changing with the growing numbers within the church. So we're excited to see the change and for what's yet to come. So we invite you to come to the annual meeting to see and hear our full report. Thanks.
If you don't already know me, I'm Karolynn Hunsberger. I am the treasurer at church. So I'm going to give you a brief overview of the financial report. So each year, the trustees, the pastors, and myself, we sit down and we try to come up with the best guesstimate, with some prayer mixed in there, as to what the budget should be for the year. So for 2014, the number we presented at the last year's annual meeting was a budget of $227,000. The actual amount that we received in givings plus some interest for 2014 was $211,177. The difference being $15,823 less than the budgeted amount. However, the actual expenses for 2014 were $202,337. So therefore, the difference between what we received and what we spent was $8,840. So we had another surplus at the end of this year. These costs do not include what we paid for supporting the refugees for 6 months, or the Bibles that we purchased that you see in the Sunday morning service. Those items were paid for with the surplus that we had in the prior year. And we still have some surplus from the 2013 year that we are saving for incorporation to pay for legal fees that we have not incurred yet, as we're still working on some of the bylaws. And some information is probably going to be coming to you soon about that. We're also working on some storage at the community space, as well as upgrading some of the furniture and decorating, so we're planning that with the prior year surplus as well. So when you get a chance to look at the written reports, I'm just going to go over the layout. So it's kind of as follows. So in the far right hand column, you're going to see what the actual expenses were for 2013. In the middle is going to be 2014. In the middle is going to be the budget for 2014, and in the far left column is going to be the budget for 2015. So, and the budget for 2015 is $238,000 that we're proposing for discussion at the annual meeting. So just some items to note: when you're looking at 2014, it looks like we've received a donation from MCEC of $10,000. That is actually payroll expenses that we get paid from MCEC for work that Jim does for the conference. We Also, if you're looking at the payroll expenses, you're going to see it looks like it's quite a bit higher for 2015. However, it is increases due to cost of living increases based on MCEC guidelines, as well as I've moved the cost for the children's ministries passer into that all of the payroll costs for 2015, and just left what we think that the expenses are going to be, and we've actually increased that a bit just because we thought that as that grows they're going to need more supplies, and we want to track that separately. Most of the other items have stayed the same. They're kind of like fixed costs, and they've only gone up slightly. So a lot of the things look the same this year. One thing we've moved around a bit is some of the givings to other missions, and that has been in the discussions that we've had based on where that money could be best used. So hopefully everything is easy for you to read, and come to the meeting with your questions. Thanks so much. Bye for now.
Hi, I'm Craig Stevens. Since stepping into the role of youth pastor in November 2014, I've been working hard to meet the people of the gathering, learn about how God has worked here in the past, and meet with youth and adults to find out where they see God leading the youth ministry in the future. I am happy to report that all of this so far has been a great source of pleasure and joy. There have been 2 separate discussions about youth ministry so far, one with youth and one with interested adults. These were both good and informative, but I continue to see a need for future meetings in order to discuss how can we do ministry with youth in our community and church as a church together. There's a famous quote that helps illustrate the importance of working together in this way. It says, people tend to support that which they help create. That was Vince Path. The weekly 9:30 a.m. youth Sunday school has been very well attended many weeks, as we have been learning with a curriculum called Breathe, where students are encouraged to breathe in by learning to receive from God while studying scriptures, and breathe out through making Christ demonstrated in their lives. Another highlight of my time at the gathering has been the trip that we took with 8 students to Silver Lake Mennonite Retreat. It was great to see the maturity and enthusiasm of our youth when they prepared chili as a fundraiser for this event. I've also been doing some other things, such as meeting some Thursday nights with the group, and meeting one-on-one with youth to talk with them and to get to know them. It is very clear that God has been working in the lives of these youth. It is a blessing to serve and build friendships in this church, and I look forward to seeing what God has in store for the future. I continue to also see a need for adults to join in forming the vision for youth ministry here, and who feel called to walk alongside our youth. Thank you for all of your continued support and prayers, and I hope that you have an enjoyable and productive business meeting.
I'm Katie. I take care of all the babies from 0 to 2 in the gathering. On average, we have about 7 to 8 kids per Sunday. We have a few parent helpers that are great. We are always looking for some more. So we have new babies coming in, and our older toddlers going into Discovery Space and Discovery Play. Some great things that happened in the nursery lately is that we had some kids who stayed and don't cry anymore, and then we still have some work to do with the others. That's what's happening in the nursery.
Hello church, this is Rachel Brnjas, and I'll be bringing an update for children's programming for the last year. Just wanting to point out that I have been doing children's programming for the last number of years, but was only in one of our classrooms, in the Discovery Zone classroom. And then in September of this past year, I moved into the children's ministry coordinator position, which means overseeing all of our children's programming on a Sunday morning except for nursery, and then also trying to include children and families in our neighborhood through programming. And so it has been a true joy and a privilege to be in this role. So firstly, thank you for the opportunity to be in this role, and I'd like to share some of the exciting things that have taken place in children's programming this past year. So first of all, on Sunday mornings, what happened previous to September was classrooms would be divided into ages, and children would just go straight into their classrooms, and that was the routine before. But in September, we started having a pod worship time where all the different Sunday school classes come together for a time to share, sing a couple of songs together and learn a lesson together. And I've just noticed how the children are coming to truly enjoy one another, how they're forming a sense of community together. They're knowing more things about each other, and one of our kids was ill just previous to Christmas in December, and a group of children wrote get well cards to this child, and so the children are starting to take care of one another, and it's just really neat to see them enjoying each other, and also that they're coming to know Jesus more deeply and know the stories of Jesus and the stories of the Bible more deeply, and they're remembering as we go from week to week and asking them to remind me of what we learned the previous week. There's lots of great learning going on, so that's a real joy to see all of the growth happening there. Then in the community, outside of Sunday morning programming, there were lots of really neat moments in the past number of months, and so rather than trying to create programming that's unique and sort of reinventing the wheel, as far as engaging with families with children, we've really in the past year tried to join in with our neighbors where they are already gathered. So on the Sunday morning where we have the pancake breakfast, so that's Thanksgiving Sunday, we had a kids corner with crafts, and that was really well received, and there was lots of great energy and a lot of engagement from that. And at that event we advertised for the Halloween event, and that was at the space while families were out trick-or-treating on Halloween night. They could stop in for a hot drink and paint a pumpkin and that sort of thing, and we probably had 50 or so kids come out with their parents, and so parents were mingling, and it was just a really great time of relationship building and just being present. I've heard a lot of feedback from parents at these various events, and our neighbors, the common pattern is our neighbors are grateful. They say thank you for engaging with us, thank you for the community events that you are doing. We're really grateful for them. So that's been really wonderful. We also for the Chandler Mowat celebration that took place in December, there was a kids component. We had a craft table set up, and so we were engaging with the kids there, so that was really neat. So there's been a lot of really wonderful growth and experimentation and learning with children, both in Sunday morning programming as well as in the community. And some hopes for this next year. Firstly, we have so many children at our church, which is great. We're really great at having lots of kids, and that's a huge asset for our faith community. We also need people to take care of those children on Sunday mornings, and so I'm hoping to see maybe some new faces of new helpers coming in to support Sunday morning children's programming, so that we aren't exhausting our current Sunday school teachers, and that we're giving others the opportunity to serve and to teach our kids on Sunday morning. So broadening the number of Sunday school teachers would be great. And then also just really discerning how to engage meaningfully with families with children in our neighborhood, to be really present with them. I'm really looking forward to Tuesdays in the park. That's always a great time for us to connect, but just really praying and discerning and figuring out how to continue to engage meaningfully with those who are in our neighborhood, those who are our neighbors. So I just wanted to thank you for your support and your prayers, and and your ongoing partnership as we support and love our kids and just really celebrate them for all that they contribute to our faith community. So thank you so much.
This year we were fortunate to start a new ministry, and it's the Chandler Mowat Build-A-Lunch program. We made this connection through a community center worker who came and just one day said to us that the children at Chandler Mowat are actually hungry kids. And so based on that, we felt like God was leading us to become a regular giver of food, providing of nutrient food. And so on Tuesday nights, we have 2 different groups of people that come and make muffins and sandwiches and packages of vegetables. We're making an average of 90 sandwiches and over 100 muffins and about 80 packages of vegetables that are then served to the children on Wednesday mornings when they come in. A highlight of this program has been that initially we thought we might just be distributing food to children who are hungry, and indeed we're doing that, but more importantly we're building relationships. And so there is a lot of love, we know each other's names, we know each other's stories, and we come together and we form just wonderful times together, and we're also contributing to them going to school with full stomachs and happy hearts.
This year in ESL, Lindsey Elders has been helping me to facilitate, and it's been great to see how the ladies have embraced her and Kayla. Because we're all from different cultures and countries, we avoid topics of religion and politics, but there's a lot of soul talk that happens. And what I love is that the ladies support each other and interact with each other and are basically, literally, the hands and feet of Jesus for each other.
Been an exciting year for G'day, Estefanos, and Antoinette. G'day got a job in June at Conestoga Meat Packers, and he's been working there ever since. And
yeah, he's even got his driver's license and bought a car only like maybe a month and a half ago now. Many of you have probably already seen them, him and Estefanos driving to church.
Yeah, and it seems like the whole family is adjusting well. G'day and Estefanos have been taking English classes, and Antoinette has many friends in the neighborhood who come over and have coffee with her, and
yeah, if you're ever at their apartment, like they've got lots of friends in the neighborhood. There's always a handful of people popping by, stopping in, saying hello. G'day is even driving neighbors to grocery stores now that he has a car, so he's no longer relying on other people. It's pretty neat to see.
Yeah, I think the most exciting thing is just seeing them move from needing help to being able to kind of help others and pass on some of the help that they've been given. So that's really exciting.
Yeah, they've come a long way in a very short amount of time.
So Megan and I have been part of the women's group for the past couple of years, and we meet every other Sunday night.
At the community space.
At the community space.
We meet with women in their 20s and 30s, and Catherine does a Bible study for us. It's a time to learn about God and His deep love for us. It's a time to share with each other.
It's always lots of laughter, lots of praying, and lots of tears.
So it's a really wonderful time of learning about God and connecting with other women.
Really enjoyed it.
Highly recommend it. Come on out.
Sign yourself up.
Young Adults is a group of about 12 to 14 young adults. We're not all as young as we used to be, but we still use the name. On Tuesday nights, we get together at Jeff and Lindsey's place to study the Bible. We take time to share and pray together. Right now, we're going through a Bible series it's a video series by John Ortberg. It's called When the Game is Over, All the Pieces Go Back in the Box. Back in September, we started helping out with the Chandler Mowat ministry, and every second Tuesday, we head down there to help out with the food prep, and then on the off Tuesdays, we do Bible study.
Worship continues to be a big part of the Gathering Church, a part of the church that we come to and look forward to every Sunday. And worship plays a big role in, inviting God's presence, allowing Him to come and work with us within the church. It invites us as a church to form unity with one another as we sing, the same words, as we sing and declare who God is together. It's a beautiful thing to stand with a group of believers shouting these words, and God continues to be faithful in this area at the Gathering. I feel like as the Sundays, move on from one to the next, us as a church, I feel like are kind of diving deeper into how we worship and why we worship. I think there's a lot of revelations going on as far as why we're worshiping, and why we're sensing God. And I think it's beautiful that He's being present amongst us as a church. We continue to have 2 bands that are growing and evolving, 2 bands that have band members who truly desire to lead a congregation into worship, into deep, beautiful moments with God, not just as an individual, but as, as a congregation corporately. We have a desire, such a strong desire to want people to leave the gathering church feeling as though they've felt the hand of God through words and through music, whether they're singing themselves or others are singing for them and over them. And that's our desire as bands. We continue to have lots of volunteers that help with sound and PowerPoint. It's not an easy job, and we recognize them, and we say thank you for all that you've done and all that you're doing, because it's not easy, and there's a lot of things that are involved in that, and a lot of things in figuring out what works best and how to do it. And we're just so appreciative for those people for giving their time and efforts into that. On that note, we're always looking for more. If you have a desire to help out in this area, we're always looking, as it's not something that people kind of jump into. There needs to be some sort of knowledge with sound and, equipment, and some sort of knowledge with computers, obviously, and how to work computers and certain programs and stuff. That said, there's also opportunity to learn, to walk alongside someone, and learn how to do that. So if you're looking into wanting to help out the church in some way, that is a huge way to help the church. It doesn't matter if you're preaching or singing or handing out bulletins or running PowerPoint. We're all the same. We help a church run, and we help bring glory to God, and that's a huge part of it. So if you're wanting to be a part of helping in that area, please just talk to us, Chris and myself, or anybody within the church that's involved in leadership, and we can help set you up with that. Let me see here. I talked about our desires, unity as a church, powerful moments with God, God's power revealed through musical worship, and just, I was praying for the church. I know Jim mentioned this. I was praying for the church a couple weeks ago, and the word sweet reunions came to mind. I don't know why, and I almost didn't say anything because I thought it was kind of hokey and tacky, but as I've thought about it, it's kind of a beautiful thing. Sweet reunions, it can mean with anything. It could mean within the church, sweet reunions of people, sweet reunions of God, a personal relationship with God, sweet reunions in music and connecting with God, and reunion and connecting in that way. I don't really know what that means, but there you have it. Sweet reunions. We pray that that's a goal for this year, that we would have those with the Holy Spirit, with God, with others, with the church, with Chandler, Mowat, with anything. Reunions are sweet, and they're oftentimes God planned, and I'm excited to step out as a church and figure out what that means. So thank you for worshiping with us. There's nothing that brings us greater joy than to sing and lead you into beautiful moments with God. So thank you.